here's JB Biunno.
Our look back of the biggest court cases of 2022 are complete, with Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard leading the charge. However, there were some other massive court cases, but now it is time to look ahead to 2023. What are the biggest court cases of the upcoming year? Good that we have hanging around with us the lawyer you know, Peter Tragos, joining us here live in the WFLA Now Stream Center. Peter, we just wrapped up our live stream on 2022. Now we look ahead to 2023. But before we do, and we are going to hear from you here in just a second, I want to go over the results of our poll. And we asked you on WFLA.com what were the biggest court cases of 2022. And Peter was in lockstep with our audience as to number one.
I'm interested to hear this.
Yeah, so finishing number one was Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard with 48% of the vote. Darrell Brooks coming in at second with 22% of the vote. Gabby Petito's parents versus Brian Laundrie's parents, that looming legal showdown, that finished three. We have the Parkland school shooter finishing at 4, and then the George Floyd officers finishing tied for 5th. So you and our audience are almost exactly the same, minus the Petito case and the Parkland case getting flipped.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, very. I'm curious. What surprises you?
I'm most surprised that Darrell Brooks was number 2.
Really?
Yeah. For everyone, I don't know. You know, I would have thought Petito would be number 2. It's got the influencer aspect to it, and I know you covered it just extensively and are going to continue to. And people come here for that, literally. So I thought that would be number 2 if I was going to guess, and then maybe Brooks 3, Parkland 4.
I think people understood the assignment, and the assignment was the top court case, not the top headline.
Yeah.
Massive difference between the top headline of the year versus the, of course, the top court case. So people were very, very well aware of Darrell Brooks and how that trial was just an absolute zoo.
Oh, yeah.
And we still have votes coming in. You can continue to vote on WFLA.com by clicking on the link in the description on this video, also in the pinned comment. But it is now time to look ahead to the biggest court cases of 2023. I'd like to also remind our audience that while we do this, we are going to be paying attention to your comments in the Facebook Live, or excuse me, now YouTube Live comment section. We've ended our Facebook Live. So just YouTube Live, we are going to be paying attention to the comments that are coming in. And we want to hear from you as to what you think should be the priority as to the biggest court cases of 2023. So again, being joined here by Peter Tragos, the lawyer you know. WFLA Now's JB Biunno here with you on the left side of your screen as we look ahead now to the biggest court cases of 2023. I don't know this list. We did not talk about this beforehand. So, Peter, this is on you. What is your list? What are you really targeting as far as providing legal analysis for your followers online when it comes to the upcoming year?
So we have some pretty difficult murder cases that had issues with the investigation and trying to find whodunit type of deal. When we're talking about the Delphi murders and now these Idaho murders. So I'm hoping that they make some headway in the investigation of the Idaho murders and we start hearing more about that in 2023. And then that the Delphi case does culminate with that trial in 2023, but we'll kind of see if that gets there. And then we have a couple cases I'm not so sure will get to trial in 2023. And I know you're going to hate to hear this, but Petito and Laundrie is on that list because it's a civil case, because there are so many issues. They're going to fight discovery issue after discovery issue. There is a chance, and I also know how clogged the court system is here.
You have direct knowledge of that because you're an attorney here.
Exactly, and we have cases in Sarasota County, so we know exactly what's going on there, and everything seems to get delayed. So I wouldn't really expect that trial to go this year as well. And then you have the FTX scandal with that fraud case. It's going to be huge. People are going to be talking about it in 2023. I don't think it's going to culminate in 2023. But there are a few I feel confident are going to culminate in 2023 that are huge and could have some huge ramifications. The first one, which we've already kind of referenced here in cameras in the courtroom, and that is the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, what are they calling it? The cult murder cases, where the web that these two are caught in, and there are two cases specifically we're going to talk about right now that when I say, you can't write it, they've literally done documentaries, Netflix shows, docuseries on these two cases. And the first one that we're talking about is the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, where there is just literally a trail of bodies behind these people. the significant others prior to the relationship of them getting together. The ex-husband, the ex-wife, both died under certain circumstances that people think could be murder. Brothers of these people and acquaintances of these people have died. And then the final straw was Lori's children disappeared, and they were found on Chad Daybell, her new husband's property. He's also a leader in a subsection of a church that is a cult, and she was a part of it, and there are podcasts on it, and they disappear to Hawaii on their honeymoon and tell everybody their kids are okay. They find out the kids are actually in the backyard. It ends up coming down with charges for them, and they're going forward towards trial. There's been a ton of coverage, a ton of cameras, a ton of media, a ton of microphones in the courtrooms at all these hearings. And the judge has just recently said, cameras are out. Microphones are in. We'll get you the transcript. Cameras are out. We will not watch this trial. And so that's kind of a bummer, but we are still going to follow it as much as we can because it is an extremely interesting case to me, that Vallow Daybell case.
Yeah, and we have Deborah mentioning right on top of it. I mean, this comment came in even before you were talking about it, even though no cameras, and we were talking about courtroom transparency. And look, I want to see that trial. So many of us do. But as to whether or not, what kind of access we're going to get, a lot of it's going to come down to, scrambling for information, right after, I can personally attest to the scramble that occurs in courtrooms when attorneys come out, and it's kind of like in the movies. They kind of get it right in the movies, but sometimes they get it wrong too. When there's that big scramble with reporters, throwing microphones in the face of attorneys and people outside the courthouse. It's a little bit dramatized, but that is somewhat of an idea as to what it might be with limited access to that case. Any others? So I'm going to shout out a couple that I'm monitoring too, Peter. What are some others that are on your radar?
So
and we'll pay attention to hashtag HeyJB, hashtag lawyer in the comment section too.
Then the next big one that again they're literally making shows and docuseries about is the Alec Murdock case over in South Carolina. Prominent attorney, a long line of attorneys in his family, so much so that the courtroom he's being tried in for his criminal case, his grandfather's portrait hangs in the back of it. These are the biggest of big shots attorneys in this town. And his story is so convoluted that there are, I think, 70 plus charges against him: stealing money from clients, money laundering, bank fraud, wire fraud, stealing money from his law firm and his partners. His son had a BUI, a boat crash where somebody died, and he's paying off those people or trying to intimidate witnesses from that case. His housekeeper slipped and fell and died at his house. He gets with her family to hire his buddy as a lawyer to sue himself and his insurance policy, and then he's allegedly stole the proceeds of that settlement by creating a fake bank account where they deposited that money. Then he's got this drug problem as well, and so he hires his drug dealer to fake a murder on himself to get insurance money for his son. So we have insurance fraud, and come to find out, he didn't even need to do that because there was a clause that the suicide clause was gone after a year or something, but regardless. So that's another part of the story. Then his wife and his son are found dead on his hunting property, and now he's being accused and tried for those murders. And his lawyers have demanded a speedy trial, so we are going to get this trial early in 2023. So this one is one I am very confident is going to culminate in 2023. And this is just one part of a huge string of corruption for Alec Murdock. And the prosecutors in that case are trying to get into that string as motive, that he murdered his family to cover up his financial crimes. And we'll see if the judge allows it, but it is going to be a wild one. You literally can't make this stuff up. There's so much going on with these people.
We've been on your screen. We've been showing some of the comments, a lot of comments coming in, people asking a whole lot of questions. We won't be able to get to them all. Another one that people are just now punching in quite a bit. B wants to know from both of us, or the Orlando freefall case, that of course being the teenager who fell from the Orlando freefall ride right here in Central Florida. Of course, lawsuits being launched in that case, and we will of course stay on top of that one. I'm gonna shout out mine here in just a second, but a couple of others that I want to make sure that we did not miss. Yeah, the Daybell case being shouted out here by Jenny. There was another one. Oh, the case of the Crumbly parents.
Big one.
Yeah,
big legal ramifications too.
Michelle Battersby. Yeah, that one being, of course, that was the Ethan being the high school mass shooter at Oxford High School in Michigan, and how the parents are now being prosecuted in that case. That one's going to be absolutely massive.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't have any calendar type details on that as to when we could see that, but of course, I'm sure it's just a Google search away. Another one. Well, I'll just shout out mine, unless you have any others, some that I'm paying attention to. Look, without mentioning any names of any suspects, I'm looking for justice for Cassie Carley. That's a case that was the Florida mother who went missing during the custody exchange on the Panhandle. The ex-boyfriend in that case has been arrested on abuse or indicted on abuse of a corpse. Paying attention to that one. Justice for Little Harmony Montgomery. That's a case that we're paying attention to. And really the big one, of course, right now that we hope yields an arrest and we hope yields justice in 2023. The Idaho student murders, which is a big one. I know that you just started doing streams about that on your channel as well. We were talking about that a short time ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I hope they make some headway on that case for sure, because that's sad all the way around. I saw some people mention Sarah Boone, which is another wild case, zipping her boyfriend in a suitcase and leaving him there overnight. Courtney Clenny, the OnlyFans model, a self-defense claim where the law enforcement basically believed her, let her leave, and then later on brought her back. Now she's arrested, moving forward that way. There are so many, and we never know which ones are actually going to hit and show us what the evidence is, but besides just what people are reporting, so sometimes that's really important to say, this is what they're saying, but we don't necessarily know it's the truth until we get either a resolution or we get a trial to see what comes before us. And I think the free fall ride in Orlando, that one I don't expect to get a lot of details on. I expect that one to settle. That's what I expect to happen in that case. So I don't know if we'll really get a lot of details on it. If we do, I think it'd be incredibly interesting.
The one we have on our screen here from Yari, what's the status of the Jussie Smollett case? Did he ever serve time, or is he on holding? I'm trying to remember. I don't believe that he is serving hard time. But that was another court case we didn't really get to with our top 5 list, but one that also when we're talking about ingredients for a big court case, big name, courtroom access, twists and turns, and significant testimony and evidence. I mean, that was another big one.
Unbelievable facts. I mean, when you have these cases that it seems like this can't be real.
Yeah. And I'm looking here. Sentenced to 5 months in jail after being convicted. Yeah, I was just having to review some of my notes, and really just a Google search away. Sentenced to 150 days in jail for of course lying that on the attack, lying to police. So that's another big one. We'll another couple of comments here before we have to wrap up our live stream here, folks. The story, the Quentin Simon story. In Savannah, Georgia. That's an interesting one. Yeah, Jenny bringing up, let's not forget about sweet baby Quentin Simon. I'm not sure when that one actually heads to trial, but that's a big one in Savannah. I have friends in Savannah. That's something that we're going to be paying attention to as well. Yeah, folks, look, we're going to be paying attention to it here on WFLA Now, and I'd like to just take an opportunity to spotlight Peter's channel. Not that he needs any more spotlight, because he has seen, of course, his follower count just skyrocket over the last 12 months. Peter, thank you for joining us here today. An opportunity for you to just shout out how people can follow you and become part of the LYK community, and also to a chance to just kind of talk about what people can expect when they follow your channel.
Sure, yeah. The channel on YouTube is called The Lawyer You Know, which is what the hashtag is, and then on all of our social media, it's at Tragos Law. My last name, LAW. What's been cool about the process is people that don't know a lawyer, that need a lawyer, especially in Florida, sometimes around the United States, and we can connect them with people with their injury cases, wrongful death cases, catastrophic injury cases, car accidents, whatever it may be. We've been able to help so many people. As JB said, I'm a lawyer first, and then I don't even know what he called a streamer second.
Right.
Whatever it is that we do on YouTube. But honestly, it's a learning experience for me as well. I tried a couple of cases since doing YouTube, and I always think it helps me in picking a jury because I understand what people think, what they like, what they don't like. We talk about experts on our channel. I ask a lot of questions of the audience. What do you think about this expert? What do you think about this presentation during opening statements? What do you think about this witness? What do you think about how this criminal defendant did or didn't testify? Whatever it may be, because sometimes in jury selection, the potential jurors aren't always honest because they think we want a certain answer and that's what they try to give us. But on YouTube, people are brutally honest, and I can learn a lot as a lawyer as well. So there's learning going on both sides of our stream. So we'd love to have anybody over there that enjoys these types of conversations, enjoys and is interested in this content. No matter how brutal the facts can be, sometimes we all learn a lot from the process. And while it can be a special kind of person that likes this kind of content, I always say that, it happens in the real world, and it's something we got to deal with whether we want to or not. So we might as well learn the best way to deal with it.
Well, it's been fun. It's been
awesome.
fun. And I'm not even just talking about this stream. I'm talking about just getting to know you and getting to know a little bit more about the work that you do and your family too. I know Papa Tragos, I don't know if he's watching, but saying hello to Dad. I know that for you, family is a big part of what you do.
Huge.
And I just appreciate you taking time out of your day and coming in. It's so easy, of course, to join virtually these days.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how to work Zoom. Everyone knows how to get on a Skype call or FaceTime. But Peter taking time out of his day to come to WFLA and help us break this pattern of everyone just, I'll just join via Zoom. It's easier that way, right? Well, no. Well, Peter, I'm lucky enough. You could have been anywhere. You could have been in California. I could have been in California or New York or the other side of the world. But we're here together in a great part of the country. And being able to bring you in today, it was really a treat. So
it was cool. It was really fun. I'd love to do it again sometime.
Yeah. I have a funny feeling that perhaps I'm going to bug Peter to get him back in the Stream Center for maybe that big court case that we're talking about, the court case that is looming for next year. So that's going to do it for our live stream here, folks. Be sure to follow The Lawyer You Know across just about every platform, right? You're everywhere.
Everywhere you can find us. If you don't find us somewhere, let me know.
Yeah, really appreciate Peter joining us and appreciate you wherever you are watching from. You'll see Peter tonight on WFLA News Channel 8. We're about to do a little bit for our 4 o'clock newscast on your NBC station, 8 on your side, right here in Tampa Bay, Florida. And, of course, everybody out there, wherever you're watching from, if it gets a little cold in the weeks ahead, Christmas is arriving. Stay warm out there. Happy holidays from Peter, myself, the entire WFLA family, and we appreciate you joining us here live on stream. For Peter, I'm JB. You can always go to WFLA.com, the WFLA app, for all of our content, Florida's biggest headlines, breaking news alerts, top stories, and, of course, the story that you can vote on right now, your top court case of 2022. Till next time, I'm JB. Thanks for joining us here on WFLA Now.